Hello and welcome to our April Aspen webinar. Um, Today we're going to be looking at how the library's portal and interface can be customised to meet the needs of the library. So Aspen is the front end to the library catalogue, and you really want it to be very inviting and showcasing the library offering. So really think about how you want your digital library to look, and that's what we're going to be focusing on today. We're going to just have a look at the way that we can customize and expand on the theme that's offered by Aspen, but not actually looking at any of the configuration details of the functionality, because that's going to be covered in next month's webinar. So the focus is primarily on the different themes today. Now, I'm going to start by looking at some examples of these themes, and I'll talk you through what you're seeing on screen. And then we'll have a wee dive into the system and show some different looks and feels, and also then look at the administration and how it can be set up. So I'm going to start by looking at some of our customer sites. So I'm going to come over to this tab. Now, this is Newcastle Library's Aspen system. And this is a fantastic reference site because they tend to change their theme depending on what month it is to highlight various things. So as we can see on screen at the moment, it's Local History Month. So they've branded their interface with a local history photo, and they've changed the background colour to be a sort of brown colour in keeping with the local history theme. And obviously as well, they've got the local history month as the first tab here. So as soon as a user comes onto this site, they're aware of the local history month happening in May, and they're also provided with a shortcut into resources for the local history items as well. Now, they do change, as I said, depending upon the theme. So in December, November, December time, if you have a look, you'll probably see a snowman and some flurries of snow coming down for Christmas. In January, they had fireworks for New Year. They've had LBGT theme as well. So really just to say as well, it shows how easy it must be to configure and very little overhead. If libraries are changing their theme dependent upon what's happening at the time, then it can have a huge maintenance overhead. So we'll take a look at that shortly. Now, if I come in and have a look at another one of our customers, this is Sefton Libraries. So they've got a different theme completely. It's a different type of view. They've got more of a custom page. So rather than having the browse categories and the carousel of books that we were showing in the previous one, they've got a sort of rotating banner going on underneath your search bar. They've then got events highlighted, and they've got quite a large scroll to advertise other resources within the library, the local history, the ebook platforms, and so on. They've got their Instagram embedded in, and then further down they've got carousels and other information. So this again is a theme. The content of the theme is configured within the Aspen administration, but ultimately what we're looking at here is the theme and how they're branding it. Let's have a look at this one. This is a college. So this is an academic customer of ours that uses Aspen as their library front end as well. Again, slightly different look and feel. They've still got the browse categories and the book covers here with their search bar and everything up here. But it's just branded more for an academic institution. So they've got, for example, a link to their online resources. They've got links to referencing sites. And I always like to show this smart search guide. And the reason for that is they've developed this guide for their students, but it's all within Aspen. So remember from previous webinars, Aspen is a content management system as well. So we will be looking at web builder functionality in an upcoming webinar. And that's obviously where the content is created and stored. but it's been shown on the theme. So again, it's just having a think, as I said at the start, about how you want your digital library to look. Another type of library that we support is a health library in Ireland. And again, they've got quite a stripped back theme, very sort of, not too busy, but gives their library the resources, the shortcuts, the resources there too. Now, going to jump and have a look at a couple of others. These are American libraries that are supported by Bywater Solutions, which is a company like ours in America. This is McKinney Public Library in Texas. This is their front end. This is their theme. So again, looks quite similar to things that we have just looked at with their browse categories, and then there's subdivisions of these browse categories. So a streaming category, and then all of these ones underneath that we can toggle between. They've also got access to genealogy sites and events on here as well. But if I toggle into this tab, this also is McKinney Libraries, but they have a separate theme for their kids' catalogue. So this is one Aspen system for the same public library, but they've got multiple front ends. So they've got one for their just a general public library system, and then they've got a specific kids-related theme where they've got specific browse categories for the juveniles, but they've also got games and Beanstack and such like. So they're really sort of eye-popping into the kids here. And it basically allows each independent section within the library to have its own identity. Now, I'll be showing a bit more of that in a moment, but it just allows the libraries to retain their individuality, but share a system. And that obviously is ideal within consortial environments. But look at our demo system. We have got a similar setup. So this is our standard demo view. So we've got our logo up here. We've got some links to websites. Our theme is just pretty basic. It's a grey background with the blue sort of colourings in here. But we've also got a slightly different look and feel for our Eastern libraries. And Eastern Libraries this time has an events link. It's also got local history, it's different colours, and so on. And then we've got our West Libraries, which again has different links along the top from the web builder, but again, quite a different look and feel. We've got carousels of book covers appearing here. We've got maps on the home page, and so on and so forth. Again, this is one system, and I've shown you 3 front ends so far. We can expand on that though, because there's no actual limit to the number of front ends that you have. So we've also got our academic library. And what you can immediately see is this is an example where it spans across the whole width of our page, whereas before they were centered. So again, that's something that you can think about doing. And we've also got a health-related theme. So in each case, we're using our Aspen demo system, but we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different front ends. And I've just to sort of recap, in a consortial environment, whether it's public libraries or in the health sector where we've got multiple customers, then you can have one single Aspen that's shared across all the libraries, but each library having its own presence, branded in its own way, and using the system for the content that they want. And I'm going to show you how that's all configured in a moment so you can see how easy it is just to be able to say, I only want this to display for this theme. So, as well as the actual design and the look and feel of it, libraries can also configure within their theme how elements of the pages look. So some examples. If I have a look at this one, again in our demo system, we've got a message panel and it's in yellow. So join us every Friday for some library fun. It's in yellow. If I have a look at the academic theme, we've got a message again in blue with different text. So obviously behind the scenes, you're saying, show this blue message on if I'm using the academic theme and show the yellow message if I'm using this theme. So you'll see where that's located shortly. I'll do a search on this West theme. If I just do a search for Pride and Prejudice. What I want to highlight to you here is the way that the results are displayed. So we've got book, audiobook, etc. You can see they're rectangular buttons, they're squared off at the end. We can see that they say on shelf, available online. And then sorry, that's incorrect. Buttons have changed. You can see here that we've got, instead of it saying that it was on the shelf, we can see it's available from another library. Okay, so, and again, you've got the where is it link here. So that's to do with the scoping of the systems and the way that the search is scoped to look specifically to particular libraries, and then saying actually it's not available here, but it is available elsewhere. And if we have a look at something in the academic library, you can see that yeah, you've got these curved look here too. So you can see that it's a nicely designed button. And over here on e-audiobook, you can see it's curved in that part as well. So it looks quite different to your buttons. And again, that can be done on a themed by theme basis as well. Excuse me. So I'm going to go back into our demo system and I am going to sign in to show you some of this configuration. So the first thing is I'm going to sign in as a user with administrative permissions, but limited permissions, because obviously you do need to have permission to modify the themes. So now I'm logged in with this user. I do have access into Aspen administration, but you can see that I've only got limited access. So with my login, I can make some changes to the web builder content, and I can also make changes to browse categories. So I can sort of manipulate the pages for the content management system, and I can create placards and collection spotlights and so on. But if I do a search for theme, nothing is found. So I don't have permission to access the themes. So it may be that when you give access to your staff to be able to maintain Aspen, you've got some that's that as this user does, that's got permission to just modify the web content, and others that then have a little bit more that in order to be able to do things with the theme specifically. So I'm going to sign out and log back in with the administrative login. And now when I go to Aspen administration, you can see I've got a lot more that I can do. So this is a super user that has access to everything. And rather than have to try and find the configuration aspect that I'm looking for, the admin page has a really useful search facility. So I can just search for theme here, and I do have access into the themes and layouts. So I'm going to come into themes, and you can see these are the themes I pointed out earlier. So we've got our academic theme, we've got our Eastern theme, we've got our health theme, and Western theme, and so on. Let's have a look at the West theme. Now I'm going to keep this tab open over here as well, and just so that you can see. And I'm going to come in and have a look at the Western theme. Okay, so let's have a look what we've got. We've got our logo appearing here, which matches what we're seeing here. We have also got our little favicon appearing, which matches what we're seeing on the Browse tab here too. And you can see how easy it is to manipulate this theme. You can, if you want to change your logo, you can just select a different image file. You can remove what's there and so on. So yeah, as you would expect, it's really easy just to sort of put the content on. Coming down, we can see we've got our colour schemes. So we've got colour schemes for different areas. So we've got them for our backgrounds. For the background cover, we've got it for our link colour. We've got it for header text. Further down again, breadcrumbs. And then you've got your primary colours, background colours, your tertiary background colours, so on. You've got the fonts that you're using. And if I keep scrolling down, this continues. So if we come in to look at, for example, the browse categories, you've got colour schemes for browse categories, you've got colour schemes for your buttons and everything as well that you would expect that you would see in there. So I'm just going to come back up to the top set here. And I am just going to highlight to you that this header text colour has got this hex code. And it's got the contrast ratio displayed there. As with all these contrast ratios, they are all in green. So that's good for accessibility. It's like green is go. It's allowing it to be saved. As soon as you input a colour schemes, Aspen's going to do that accessibility check to ensure that it does meet the guidelines. And if it doesn't, it will give you a warning. So I'm just going to illustrate that to you. So I'm just going to copy that so that I don't lose it. And I'm going to change the hex code here to be this, and you can see that it's then changed to be a sort of amber. It's a warning. It's saying this isn't good for accessibility. You know, so it does give you that warning. And if we just take it one little stage further, if I just change it to be 6 lowercase x, and you see it changes to be red, so it's like stop, you can't use this, this will not work for accessibility. So it checks that with each of your colour schemes and gives you those warnings as needed. So it'll click back and you can see that we've got back to green. Now I'm just going to leave my themes for now. I'm going to come into these layout settings. And again, if we come in to see that West has its own layout setting here too. So you can have multiple themes and then you can have different layouts for your themes as well. So we can see that we've got, for example, in this one, that we have got our home link and the breadcrumbs and the menu. So that corresponds on our Western theme to here. So we've got our home button displaying here, but also in our breadcrumb. So this layout here, you can see we could link back to home. If we compare that with our East theme, if I just come back home, we don't have any breadcrumb trail here, so it's got a different layout. Now, a lot of the other configuration options that are theme dependent are configured elsewhere on the system. So as I mentioned earlier, our next webinar will highlight some of these options to you, but it is important to note at this time that the themes themselves play a role with these other configuration options. So when you're enabling your configuration, you specify which themes things should apply to. So for example, back in my settings, I'm going to search here in my admin area for placards. And, excuse me, I'm going to have a look at this placard that's currently set up for, for our Bronte family walking tour. So this one here, I'm going to come in and have a look at it. I can see it's got a title and it's got this text in the placard screen and it's got this image. And it's also triggered by Bronte and Wuthering, those keywords will trigger it. But what I wanted to highlight to you is that it's set to display in the East theme. It's also set to display in our main theme and in the West. So let's do a search to prove that. On West, let me do a search for Bronte. And there's the placard appearing with the text and the icon that was seen in the configuration. And again, just to recall, to recap, there's your image, there's your text, and it said, yep, it should display in West. However, if I do a search on the academic theme, do the same search, it's not displayed. And that's because the theme academic is not ticked for this configuration option. So as I say, when you're setting up your themes, they then trigger down into the different configuration options that are available to you. Okay, I'm also now going to show you another example on our academic screen here. I'm just going to come back to the home page. If we scroll down, we can see how this is configured. This thing here is set out like this. It's got your carousels, and then further down at the bottom, you've got opening hours, and you've got this embedded video. So I'm just going to show you again how that relates to the specific theme. It is a custom page which is configured in the web builder section, and this topic will be explored more next time. But again, useful to see it in the context of the themes. So if I go to my configuration again, and this time I'm going to come into web builder and choose custom pages. And we'll come into there and then go to the academic library area. And if I just scroll down, you can see what I've just displayed on screen is mirrored in the configuration as you would expect. So you've got collection spotlights appearing as we saw here. Again, hours and the video. You've got your hours, and then you've got your embedded video. And again, as I said, the theme plays a pivotal role in the configuration. So when we scroll down here, you can see that actually it's only set to show on the academic library theme. So that's how the themes sort of control as well what you're seeing. Remember at the start, we mentioned messages as well, and I highlighted a couple of different messages. So on the academic one, for example, we've got the blue here, and on the home page, we had the yellow message appearing at the top as well. So just show you where those are. So again, I'm going to just search rather than have to find them for your messages. So it's under local catalogue enrichment. I'll come into this and you can see all the different messages that have been set up here. Let's have a look at the spring semester reading one. So we'll come in to look at this. And again, the new semester is long started. Come into the library for the series of study workshops. That's what we're seeing here. That's your text. And again, scrolling down, we can see that that message is set to show on the academic theme. And it's displayed in blue because the message style is set to be this information bar, which displays in blue. It's also set to show on all pages. So regardless of where we are within our academic theme, we're going to get this message at the top. However, you can change that as well if you just wanted to show it on specific pages. Okay. The other thing to note is you can also set these messages up to display, to publish, and to come off automatically as well. And just the final thing is just to show you another message, sorry, and just show you how the yellow ones. So we can see that we've got these different ones here just displaying as well. So you can here's an example of putting your publication dates on, for example. And we can come in, there's your Friday fun. And this is us join us every Friday for some fun, which is what you're seeing here. Showing on all pages, which is why we're still seeing it in administration. And again, to show on the main page. So that's me out of time. That was a quick whistle-stop tour of looking at themes and the type of things that you can do with them. And next time we'll be looking at some more of the configuration options available in Aspen administration. So thank you very much.